would be gone, but it's not. If anything, it's at its height. All right, so number 4, we have a site called XVideos, OnlyFans leaked videos for profit. And, as I mentioned about Pornhub working very hard to remove content, specifically anything that's not user generated that they can verify who the user is. Now, that's going to decrease, as you can imagine, the amount of OnlyFans leaks by a lot, because the only time you're going to have anything from an OnlyFans creator is if they themselves have a login, say, to Pornhub, and then they download the files themselves, and then everyone knows that that's actually just a promo. It's not a leak. And when you have another site like XVideos, which is outside of the group, the family, I would say, of Pornhub-owned sites, you have another site that is in the same, boat, being able to provide these kind of pictures and videos. And also XVideos, because it is pretty popular, is very discoverable inside Google, which makes it easy for people to find those videos. Now, to me, I would say that XVideos is kind of a lazy way of getting this material for free, while the people up on FamousInternetGirls and the Thought people, Thotbook, all of that, they are more creating like a system, and then you have to buy in. But anyone can just go on to XVideos or go on to XHamster and be able to watch these videos for free. All right, now number 5 is a site called sex.com. Now this one's kind of weird, but it's true. So it is basically stolen OnlyFans gifts. So this is likely one of the stranger ways that content is being stolen on the internet and distributed. The domain sex.com, which set a Guinness Book of World Record in 2011 for being sold for $13 million, never really had a real reason for existence in a crowded marketplace. But they stumbled onto making GIFs out of every single clip of adult material online. And they continue to do this to this day, and be found on, and I'll tell you, if you make any kind of adult-based image search on Google Images and put the word GIF in there, or just at all, this site's going to come up. And they have decided that they have the right to create GIFs or GIFs, depending on how you want to pronounce this. I'm old school, so I say GIFs, out of behind the paywall content on OnlyFans. So of course they have little to no right to do this. There's nothing in the law that states they can sample copyrighted material in this way, but it does not stop them from doing it. So basically you just have an entire site where it's possible, and you won't even necessarily get credit for it. So, it might just be labeled as whatever act is happening in the video, whatever's going on, or generalized. And there you have whatever you've done as far as your paid content made into a GIF and being distributed on this sex.com site. For everyone to see who posts it. And most of the time that's very difficult, because on sites like Twitter, people are constantly posting GIFs, which are animated images, if you're not familiar with what GIFs or GIFs are. So they're like short animated videos. And so basically you have these out there, and there's very little way for that to be, taken down, because it's not even going to be identified as material that you yourself as an OnlyFans creator made. All right, so the second group is the sponsors of OnlyFans hacks and leaks. All right, so first is a site called Jerkmate.com. And now they are providers of video ads for OnlyFans stolen content. Now remember, when I'm talking about sponsors, these are not the people who are actually posting your stolen content. But because these sponsors exist, they give a reason for this content to exist, because otherwise people wouldn't be able to make a lot of money from it. And in the end, that's what the goal is. There's very few people who are posting this material just for nefarious reasons. I'm sure there will always be people who will do that, but if you have a monetary incentive towards it, it's going to make it a lot more attractive, a lot more lucrative for people to post these kind of, thought packs and things like that, of mega packs of material. They're just not going to create systems to make it, feasible. So we'll start with Jerkmate. So this is an opinion, but this is an annoying, pervasive ad site. Almost everywhere you go, you will see what appears to be a streaming live webcam session as an ad. And these appear on almost all adult sites. They basically just pop up. And the way that this works is that these adult sites get paid. Jerkmate is just hoping that anyone will want to join their site. And, sites like this help keep stolen content profitable by paying for any eyeball that might decide to watch anything on an adult-related site. So this encourages content to be leaked and stolen because the people who host it know that they will be able to get some sort of monetary gain from it. So it also allows adult sites to look the other way at what content is being put on their site because their only goal is more and more views. So it likes, and basically that sites like Jerkmate will pay them. I mean, that's the only incentive, and they'll pay for anything. So they're really not looking at it and saying, okay, well, I'm only going to pay for this legitimate content. They're basically just making these large ad buys. So the second one in this group is something called StripChat. So StripChat is providers of ad revenue, again, for OnlyFans leaks. So I first encountered StripChat a while ago when I was working to remove a promo from Twitter that was preying on OnlyFans creators and attempting to steal content and get them to sign up to the site. It was obvious the entire venture was set up just to get people to go to StripChat and sign up. This site is very similar to Jerkmate and its annoying tendency to pop up everywhere in hopes of gaining new users. StripChat is new and therefore very aggressive about getting new viewers and earning market share. So this site is perhaps, without its own intention, supporting stolen content across the web. So as I'm saying, these sites are not distributing stolen content. And I'm not saying anything bad about these sites. What I'm saying is that they make it possible. So StripChat should be allowed to exist, and so should Jerkmate. It's just that they are adding profitability to stolen content where it might not have existed before. And then another one on this group is Chaturbate. So banner advertisers on all adult content, including OnlyFans, rips. So of all the sites that cause stolen content to be distributed on lists, I will say that Chaturbate is the least nefarious. Before there was OnlyFans, Chaturbate was around as an outlet for performers to earn money. It has been around since February of 2011, and it's definitely been a favorite of cam girls everywhere. So I'm certainly not going to say terrible things about it. I'm not going to say that it's doing this on purpose. I'm just going to say that it's the fact that it runs these ads everywhere, and especially it supports banner ads. And banner ads are kind of a very old school way of internet marketing. If you're not super familiar with that, when internet marketing or just the internet first arose, people were looking for any way to profit from it. So they would just say, okay, I'll sell you 1,000 impressions, which is 1,000 times someone's on the site, or anytime anyone's on the site, and we'll put up your banner ad, a big banner, and hopefully people will click through. Well, it didn't take people long to figure out that really no one liked banner ads, and they weren't clicking through on them. They really just weren't doing what people were hoping they were doing, and luckily, over the last 20, 30 years, we've come up with new ways of innovation as far as internet marketing to where people will actually start to take action. But Chaturbate still is out there supporting adult banner ad networks, which, because of the super high volume of views that adult sites get, there are very few other ways to monetize for adult site owners other than using banner ads. So adult banner ad networks still exist, and one of their primary supporters is Chaturbate. So that leads, as mentioned, to it being easier for adult sites to gain revenue from vast amounts of stolen OnlyFans content, as long as they can serve up banner ads on them. Okay, so this next group, the last group, is the hosts of OnlyFans leaked and stolen content. Now, first is Google. and I call Google the search engine for stolen OnlyFans pictures and videos. It's a pretty simple statement to make that if these OnlyFans stolen leaks and hack sites were not able to be found on Google, no one would ever know they existed. Like, who is going to type in Thotbook.tv? Who's going to even tell anyone? And if they tried to send out emails, oh, by the way, we have stolen OnlyFans content, it wouldn't even get through to anyone. No one would see it. So the only real way that these people are finding this to begin with and know that it exists is Google. So, no one would have found ThoughtHub or FamousInternetGirls, and it would be difficult to find, free Discord servers filled with stolen content as well. So Google is the hub by which all of these problems originate. From Google image search, which has almost zero copyright protection for creators or anyone, to Google's search algorithm, which is not set up to filter out stolen content sites. This in turn creates a huge incentive for people to create these sort of sites, because they know that if they fill the sites with enough content, especially like in something like a forum content, which Google tends to favor, they will continue to gain thousands, if not millions of views a day for free. And, I think that concept of free is very important, because everything these sites are getting is free. So they're getting the free leaked content, and then they're getting free search traffic. It's like everything ends up being profit. So it's like the 5-finger discount? If you go and steal something from someone and then you resell it for any amount, $1, 50 cents, it's all still profit. And the only way these things would exist is if everything was free. Because if you put out there, if someone's going to charge $5 for a VIP membership, they've still got to pay for their host. That costs money. They have to pay for their time that they're doing. So they really wouldn't have that extra money to actually invest in marketing, because that would cut into their profit. But it makes it very profitable when your traffic's free and your product is free. And that's what's happening with Google, is that Google is going, and also it's really interesting because these sort of words aren't going to be highly, bought words. So if you're familiar with pay-per-click, or you're familiar with paid Google advertising, you're not going to get a lot of people who are going to make these sort of searches who are paying for the ads. So therefore, it's just organic traffic on most of these things. Anything that's nefarious, Google isn't going to sell ads on because they don't want that kind of profit, but they still will display the organic. So now organic is going to get 100% of that traffic because there's no other competitors, making the problem even worse. All right, number 10, Discord. Servers filled with OnlyFans leaked videos and images. I'm not going to go in too much about Discord because we did an entire episode on Discord and, basically explaining some of the problems that Discord has. There's also a whole blog article that I wrote about this. So those who might not have listened to either, I wrote that about a month ago. Not much has changed. Although what's really nice is that one big server that had a ton of OnlyFans leaked content is now down. It does not exist anymore. So that's one positive, but that doesn't mean that others aren't going to be popping up or aren't popping up. And as I mentioned in the article and on the podcast, there are Reddit subreddits that provide details on how to find new stolen OnlyFans content Discord servers, daily. And, and obviously, as I just mentioned, Google, it's very easy to find this kind of material on Google, find a Discord server, and it continues to gain more and more people looking as a search term all the time. So OnlyFans Discord server. And most of these people are not looking for legitimate OnlyFans Discord servers, but mainly for leaks. All right, so number 11, Cloudflare. Now, the web host, I call them the web host for stolen OnlyFans content. So, as I mentioned in the podcast, as well as the blog, the host of stolen content is the most responsible for the content because it is found on their servers. So again, the host is the starting point. I definitely feel that Google is a huge factor, but if there was no legitimate host hosting this, it couldn't have a website. It couldn't exist for